The weight of the American dream. In the heart of Detroit, Michigan, where the echoes of the city's industrial glory days had long faded, lived a man named James Carter. At 45, James had known more hardship than most could imagine. His story was not unique, but it was his own, a tale of survival in a country that promised opportunity, but often delivered struggle. The early years. James was born into poverty. His father, a factory worker, had lost his job when the auto industry began its decline. His mother worked 2 jobs, cleaning offices by day and waiting tables at night, but it was never enough. The family lived in a cramped apartment in a neighborhood where hope was as scarce as steady employment. As a child, James dreamed of a better life. He was bright and loved reading, often escaping into books about faraway places and successful people. But reality always pulled him back. By the time he was 16, he dropped out of high school to help support his family. He took odd jobs, mowing lawns, washing cars, and eventually working at a fast food restaurant. The struggle to survive James's life became a cycle of work and exhaustion. He married young to a woman named Linda, who shared his dreams of a better future. They had 2 children, Marcus and Elena, and for a while life seemed manageable. But when the 2008 recession hit, James lost his job at a local warehouse. The bills piled up, and the family was evicted from their apartment.
They moved into a shelter where they lived for months. James felt the weight of failure pressing down on him. He worked temp jobs, but they were inconsistent and paid little. Linda took on night shifts at a diner, but it wasn't enough. The stress took a toll on their marriage, and eventually, they separated. A glimmer of hope. One cold winter night, as James sat in a public library trying to stay warm, he noticed a flyer for a free job training program. It offered courses in welding,
A skill that was in demand. With nothing to lose, he signed up. The program was rigorous, but James was determined. He studied hard and practiced tirelessly, often staying late to perfect his technique. After completing the program, James found work as a welder. The pay wasn't great, but it was steady. He rented a small apartment and was able to bring his children back to live with him. Life was still hard, but for the first time in years, James felt a sense of hope. The road ahead. James's story is far from over. He still struggles to make ends meet, and the scars of poverty remain. But he's learned to take life one day at a time. He's proud of the progress he's made and is determined to give his children a better future. Marcus, now in high school, dreams of becoming an engineer. Elena, who loves to write, wants to tell stories that inspire others. James knows the road ahead won't be easy, but he's no stranger to hardship. He's learned that resilience is the key to survival, and in a country that often feels divided, he holds on to the belief that the American dream is still possible, not just for the privileged few, but for anyone willing to fight for it. This story can be expanded with more details about James's daily struggles, his relationships, and the broader social and economic issues he faces. Let me know if you'd like me to elaborate on any specific aspects.